Alright guys, Naima Healer here. Hope all is well. Coming back to you with a few more cards. So if you're watching this, subscribe. It really helps. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me going. And I really appreciate all of my subscribers. So the first card that I have coming to you is Father Sims. Alright. Guys see him? Alright, so Father Sims, he was actually a preacher and a root worker. So some people are like, what? That doesn't even go together. But when we see this card, it reminds us to be balanced, all right? So Father Sims did preaching and he also did root work. So as you can see, he's working in his purple robe that he likes to work in. And we have the two streams that represents both sides of him. So when this card comes up, it's reminding you to be centered, to be balanced. Despite all the chaos that surrounds you, really ground yourself. So if you're getting this card and it's coming up, maybe in a reading, you have to make a decision. It's reminding you again to one, think with a cool, calm head. Don't make a decision or act on something until you're balanced. Another thing that this card may remind you of is being fair or compromising, right? Is it just gonna hurt to join forces with someone? Is it gonna hurt to compromise, all right? So when we see Father Sims, just a reminder to be balanced and to be centered. Next, we have Miss Robinson, all right? So Miss Robinson is a really interesting character. So Miss Robinson was from Orangeburg, South Carolina. I find that just so interesting because a few months after I got these cards, I actually moved to Orangeburg, South Carolina for a couple months. And it was just interesting to know how much culture was really there in South Carolina. But Miss Robinson, she dealt with root work and she also attended church. So it's said that she had a confrontation with a member of the church that didn't think that she belonged there, and she was actually causing other people to kind of treat her kind of iffy and kind of not really be involved with her. So after a confrontation, the woman's son died, and they say that Mrs. Robinson was seen at the funeral laughing, smiling, see the picture, and fanning the woman's son's obituary. So the woman apparently left town after this. So when we see this card come up in the reading, it's reminding you about your negative side, right? It's gonna tell you to maybe stop a situation before it gets too negative. Really looking at yourself. Are you being the negative one in this situation? Time to check yourself, all right? But what I really take away from this card when it shows up is really stopping a negative situation before it goes left, all right? And also being introspective, really looking at your negative aspects, the role that you actually played in whatever situation you might be consulting the cards for. So that's Miss Robinson. Next, we have the Bighouse, all right? And this card, to me, how it resonates in my daily life is just with everything going on with politics, with social media. We have the image of the Bighouse. And as you can see, we have this lens here, and it's rose color. You guys heard the expression, looking at things through rose color lenses. So there's a person viewing the big house, but all they see is the good part of it. They forget all the ruin, the people that are falling, the people that are hurt, and the negative aspects of this big house, okay? So when we see this card, a few things change. Is one thing that resonates. Another big thing that resonates with me is knowing when to salvage a situation and move on. It's over, chalk it up. It's never gonna be inside of this rose colored thing again. Take the memories, take the best parts of it, take the lesson that you learned and move on. All right, and then this is also a card that reminds me to be grounded and centered, because it really wants you to be introspective and really look at the situation as it is, not as how you want to see it. Okay, so again, just a reminder to be grounded and really looking at the situation for what it really is. Okay, and our last card is the grandchildren. All right, Now look at this card. How beautiful is this? All right. So as we can see, we see a grandparent's hand cupping a child's hand, and inside is this small star-shaped flower. All right, it's beautiful. When I see this card, I think about faith. All right, planting seeds that you don't even see. I tell my kids a lot of times that I'm not even just doing what I do for you, I'm doing it for your kids and your kids' kids. All right, it's really planting that seed that, you know what, we might not even live to see the results of it, but knowing we've planted that seed and expect nothing in return, right? Just doing, putting good out, and knowing, already knowing without seeing that good will come of it, okay? And not expecting anything back in return, all right? Because a lot of times we probably won't be able to see the fruits of our labor, right? Our kids will benefit, our kids' kids will benefit, and hopefully our kids' kids' kids will benefit from it. So when we see the grandchildren, it's a reminder about faith, about giving freely, expecting nothing in return. And it's also a good sign that something positive, some positive change is going to be on the way. If you've been through a tough situation, it's going to work out. All right. So just a reminder to just be patient, to be calm. It's coming. Plant those seeds freely, expect nothing in return. And just really know that something great is going to come from it, okay? So that's it for today. Remember your homework. What I do is I scan this card up and down. I'm looking at the descriptions, what really sticks out to me, what resonates with me. I also think about how this card may reflect in my daily life. That kind of helps us remember the meanings of it, and also 1 to 2 keywords to help you remember what the meanings are. So subscribe, and I'll be coming soon with another video. All right, guys.